Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor and today I want to talk to you about the Chronicles of Alice series. Now this is a duology, Alice and Red Queen, and very recently Christina Henry released Looking Glass, which is a 4-novella bind up, I should say. I couldn't think of what to call that there. So I just want to quickly talk about each of these books and tell you to please read them. If you're looking for a very different type of Alice in Wonderland retelling, this is definitely the series for you. The first book is Alice. So Alice, it starts off with Alice being in a hospital. This is basically an asylum in what is called the Old City in this world. It's like a Victorian era, not really steampunk, but I don't know, it's Victorian-esque, but it's not our world, it's a different world completely. So Alice is in this asylum. She doesn't quite remember why she's there, and all she really remembers is just a tea party long ago, and long ears and blood. This happens very near the start of the book, and it clues you into the fact that this is a very dark Alice in Wonderland retelling. This is not for children. This is very violent, very bloody, very gory. Very quickly at the beginning, she and another person called Hatcher escape the asylum, and they think that they are being followed and hunted by a beast. So ensues their adventure in trying to track this beast down and to see if Alice can regain her memories and find out what happened to her. This is not a happy retelling. This is not happy-go-lucky. This is not about Alice falling down a rabbit hole, finding a pretty white bunny and having a jolly good old time. This is Lewis Carroll's story like you've never seen it. If you don't like retellings where they're very different, this maybe isn't for you, but if you're open to something completely different, I really enjoy how Christina Henry takes Lewis Carroll's original story and changes it and warps it and makes it something completely unexpected. Just to say also, there's trigger warnings for this series and this first book in particular. I will leave those listed below in the description if you want to know that beforehand before going into this. And I'll say again, this is not for children. This is not a young adult series. The next book is Red Queen. Alice and her companion Hatcher have solved the problem of the first book in Alice, and they have escaped the Old City, and they're hoping to start a nice, peaceful, quiet life together outside the Old City. But of course, it would not be a fun story if that were to happen. They expect to leave the Old City and find like a lush world outside. Small villages, they could move anywhere. They're expecting to find their happiness together. But instead it's a bit of a wasteland, and there's problems of a white queen and a red queen, and more things happen. I'm trying to keep it quite vague because I don't want to be spoiling this. I really want to encourage you to read it, this series. This is a very different book from the first one. I don't believe it is as horror-filled or as gory. Some people might take that as a negative, and others might like the fact that it's quite different from Alice. But it has a slightly different tone to it, and it's a slightly different story because the first one is very impactful and full of adventure, and this one is slightly slower paced, a little bit more meandering because there's not a clear purpose in mind in the same way that there is in Alice. I still, however, really enjoyed this story, even though it was quite different from Alice, and I just enjoyed being with these characters again, and I would definitely recommend this duology. Very recently, Christina Henry brought out Looking Glass, so this is 4 novellas in one bind up, and I pre-ordered mine from Waterstones, so mine is signed and it's got beautiful sprayed edges. I absolutely love this book, it's stunning. And I really enjoy that Christina Henry is one of those few authors who doesn't publish in hardback. She publishes straight to paperback, which is the format I prefer. So I like that I can pre-order her books and not have to wait months for the paperback to come out. This is 4 short stories, as I said, and a couple follow Alice and Hatcher and their life after Red Queen. So they're still looking for that happily ever after, and there's still more obstacles in their way. So 2 of the stories are about them together and or Alice on her own. There's one story that's Hatcher's past, so before he met Alice, before he ended up in that asylum, and it was so interesting reading that one and just seeing the old city from a different perspective, because Alice starts with him in the asylum and it's their adventure battling through the old city to get to their destination. But the short story in here about Hatcher in the past just gives you a completely different perspective to how the people live and function in that twisted world, and I just found it really brilliant to have that further world building and more context to the original series. And the last story is about a little girl called Elizabeth who discovers she has magic as well and makes the same mistakes as Alice, and it's just really, really good, and I love the wee twist that you find out about that character. I overall really enjoyed this. Obviously with short stories there's always ones you like more than others, but overall I thought this was a very well-rounded collection, and I really thought it fitted very well into original duology, and I would totally recommend reading this after you've read the first 2, just because it gives you more to the story. And I really hope Christina Henry continues to write more retellings, because I love her Alice series, and she's written ones for Peter Pan, for Little Red Riding Hood, and a few others as well, and I hope she keeps writing them because I love them all and I think she's a fantastic writer. And that's it. So I would totally recommend you read this series if you're looking for a very different Alice in Wonderland retelling. I feel like Christina Henry is doing something quite different with her retellings, and they're very horror-esque and dark and just very different from the originals, and I just think it's a breath of fresh air. So yes, thank you for watching, and please be sure to subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next video.